Hey everybody, Chris Truder here, leading communications expert and business coach in Japan. How are you doing tonight? I hope you're doing fine. It was still a warm one out there today, but a little better, about 28 degrees. Went to Costco today, did a bunch of shopping. But anyway, we're going to continue this series on sleep apnea. Sleep apnea, episode 41, testing. So yesterday I talked about introduction to sleep apnea, the 5 signs that may indicate you have sleep apnea. And I said if you have 3 out of those 5 signs, you should probably get checked out for sleep apnea. Now, if you're worried about that, there are 2 ways to test for sleep apnea. So here we go. Here's my little whiteboard. Let's see. I'll do like this. Oh, and number 1 is a home sleep test. So that's where you go to a hospital or sleep clinic, have a consult with a doctor, and if he thinks you may have sleep apnea, he'll send you home. He or she will send you home with a home sleep test. So you take this home, and I wish I had pictures for it. Maybe I'll do that in a future thing, but you basically you wear a little cannula right here, a little band around your chest, and then on your index finger you put a little laser sensor. It's called a SpO2, oxygen saturation. So this will measure the amount of oxygen in your blood during the night. And you put it on, turn it on, go to sleep. Next morning you turn it off, and then you return this system back to the hospital. Then they can download the information and see if you have sleep apnea. It's a little cheaper, but the specificity is not as good as a number 2, a sleep lab test, or what we call a PSG. Now, a sleep lab test is when you actually go to the hospital or sleep lab and you stay the night. So you check in. It's not an in-and-out procedure. You sleep overnight, and it's much more elaborate. They put all these electrodes on your head to measure your brain waves. They also measure your eye movement. But by measuring brain waves, they can tell exactly when you're sleeping or not. So it's just a more in-depth test, higher specificity. It's called PSG. PSG stands for polysomnography. It's a little more expensive. It's actually a lot more expensive. So in Japan, a home sleep test, the reimbursement, so the government will pay you pay 30%. So the reimbursement's like 7,200 yen. And as a patient, you have to pay 30% of that. For a PSG, a sleep lab test where you stay overnight, the actual test, I think, is like 36,000 yen. So you would pay 30% of that, of course, about 12,000 yen, 11,000 yen. But there's also other fees for overnight fee, bed fee, So it comes out to about total cost is 100,000 yen, and then you would pay, again, 30% of that, about 30,000 yen. So those are the 2 types of sleep tests. Highly recommend it. If you think you have sleep apnea, definitely check with your doctor and then get tested. And then if you do have sleep apnea, what's next? You'll need CPAP, and I'll explain that in a future episode of what CPAP is, okay? So again, I do want to introduce you to Sleeping Tree Japan. I will post that in the comments section later, where you can take an online sleep test, and then you can give them a call and they can refer you to a doctor, sleep doctor, of course, only here in Japan. And lastly, just a reminder, get certified to teach medical device English. Yay! Starting October 16th, 6 weeks, once a week, about maybe a 1-hour live webinar where I'll be teaching and sharing my knowledge of the medical device industry in Japan, my system of how to teach medical device companies, and this will be a beta program. So I'll be launching it for free to special select people, and based on their feedback, I hope we can help make a better training program for the future. So really looking forward to that. I'll be promoting that here pretty soon. So anyway, thank you for tuning in tonight. And we'll see you tomorrow. Sayonara. Bye-bye.